Do you want to reorganize the order of business so Annika doesn't have to sit through a bunch of stuff in the
Yeah,
beginning?
yeah. Why don't we do that?
That
That would be.
that would be fine with me. So okay, so Annika, we'll move you up to now, so
Oh,
you don't
great.
have to
Thank you.
stay on all half of the meeting.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I can go ahead and get started then. I think everyone knows I'm Monica Hare. I'm the director of Lightworks Urban Video Project Program, and I am here presenting our application for a group show entitled What Happened, work by Luis Arnias, Simon Liu, and Zhao Dao. The dates for that are February 11th through April 3rd of this year, every Thursday through Saturday, dusk to 11 p.m., projecting onto the facade of the Everson Museum of Art downtown. We're planning to schedule this group show a little bit differently than we've done in the past. Instead of running everybody as a loop together, we're going to do short runs, short solo runs for each of the artists. So for 2 weekends, Simon's work will run. For 2 weekends, Luis' work will run. For 2 weekends, Dao's work will run. And we'll have that, like the specifics of that, published on the website. There will be a related event. It'll be a live stream screening and Q&A with the filmmakers via YouTube Live. That'll feature some additional works beyond what is in the show, and that'll be on March 4th at actually 6:30 p.m. So yeah. So getting into the artwork description. What Happened is a group show featuring the short work of 3 experimental filmmakers, and it explores dreamlike landscapes of ambiguity where it is unclear what already has or is about to happen. Are we pre or post event? Are we in the terrain of reality or fantasy, autonomy or oppression, recovery or impending disaster? What Happened is a show about sitting with tension and moving through uncertainty. So the first piece is by the artist Zhao Dao. It's from 2014. It's titled Blue and Red. It's about 25 minutes long. It's the longest work that we'll be showing. And I can just go ahead, I can read the description, and also maybe what I'll do then is chat the link so that people can pull it up on their own computers. And that should not be password protected, so that should open it right up. Okay.
Can I ask how did people have the opportunity to look at the videos? Mm-hmm. Most people. Okay. All right. Yeah. Carry on. Yeah. So this will be helpful though.
Now, what happens if you open it from? Does it sign you off?
Shouldn't sign you off. It should be. Hopefully, it should open up in a. We'll find out, Dan.
I just tried it, and I think I don't know what happened. Can you still see me?
Yep.
Yep.
I can't see anything. There. Okay.
Shall I start?
Yeah, carry on. Sorry,
Sorry about that.
No problem. In Blue and Red, Zhao Dao conducts a mesmerizing formal exploration of ambiguous zones. 2 public squares, one in Guangzhou, China, during a street festival, and one in Bangkok, Thailand, amidst political protests. The terrain surrounding a heavy metal mine and a mountain village in southern China. Through the edit, these very different spaces merge into a single ambivalent reality. A mysterious colored light envelops the animate and inanimate denizens in an otherworldly skin. Masses congregate, tents are erected, families take selfies, children play, hillsides collapse, police march, violence erupts, and Earth persists.
So yeah, that's so timely.
Shall I just give everybody a chance to watch and then take questions, or do you want me to just keep going through?
Does anybody want to watch these now, or we've all seen them, right?
I have not.
that means we have to learn how to look at them then.
Ellen, are you able to see them from the chat? Are you able to?
I'm trying to find where it is.
You mean the chat?
You go in the chat, and there's a link.
Oh, sorry. I also, just to make things more confusing, I already chatted the next link. So let me re-chat blue and red. Okay. Do you see that link, Ellen?
Well, let me.
On lower right of the screen, far lower right is the chat feature.
No, see, I'm on my iPhone.
Okay, so still going to be down low on the right.
No, it just flashed right up.
If you touch, then it will like pop up again. Like physically touch the screen right in the middle.
Oh, this looks as good as it did before.
No, it's not doing that. Not at all.
Well, Annika, why don't
Yeah, but you guys can keep going.
maybe you could give his bio or
Yeah.
you know, as we're trying. Yeah, go ahead.
And I can try sharing my screen, and we could see if that works. Let me see here. If I go full screen, the downside, if I go full screen in Vimeo, it's going to blank out my second monitor. But let me just make it large. Let me try sharing my screen and see if that. Oh yes, actually, I'm gonna have to install the audio driver so it can pick up the system audio on my Mac to do that.
I was going to say how many people have actually seen them? So
yeah,
and Dan, so that's good. So
okay,
Ellen, if you want to check them out later too, because I think I've certainly seen them, and so go ahead with the bio.
Okay. Yes. So Zhao Dao was born in 1976 and is an artist based in Guangzhou, China, originally trained in oil painting and mixed media. Since 2003, he has primarily worked in video, drawing, and photography. The visual narratives in his works often combine different spatial constructs, such as industrial landscapes, urban centers, construction sites, parks, public squares, and wastelands. Zhao's work has been the subject of solo exhibitions at the MIT List Visual Arts Center in Cambridge, Massachusetts, the Hiroshima City Museum of Contemporary Art, Cardiff Art Foundation in Paris, and Musée d'Art Contemporain in Barcelona, among others. His 2017 work, The Worldly Cave, was presented at the 57th Venice Biennale. So, moving on then, I guess, are there any questions?
No.
Good.
Okay. So moving on then, I put in two separate works by Simon Liu in here. I think we're probably going to just actually include Signal 8 in the actual exhibition, and then both pieces will be part of the streamed screening event. But I'm still in conversation with the artist about that, so that's kind of up in the air because the other piece is a newer piece, and I think there are some potential festival conflicts, but I think we will be able to screen it at the event. So just a note there, probably only one of those will ultimately be in the exhibition. Signal 8 is a 2019 work. It's 14 minutes long. And this was the synopsis provided in the Projections New York Film Festival description. Simon Liu's eerie, entrancing portrait of contemporary Hong Kong tracks a series of strange disruptions to the city's urban infrastructure. Deceptively tranquil 16mm images of everyday life are accompanied by muffled music cues, ominous radio transmissions, and intimations of an impending hazardous event that may never arrive. And then the second piece, Happy Valley from 2020, is 13 minutes long. In Hong Kong, echoes of resistance and turmoil are sensitively captured on 16mm in this poetic rumination on public spaces and everyday life in a metropolis in upheaval. And some of that footage was shot in Hong Kong over the past summer when, as I'm sure you guys all know, protests were very active in Hong Kong. So you see some of the detritus of that, although you don't see any of that directly in the piece itself. Simon Liu's bio, he was born in 1987 and grew up in Hong Kong and Stoke-on-Trent in the UK. In 2006, he moved to New York to study film and television production at the Tisch School, and he currently works as a director in Brooklyn. There he creates short films and 16mm projection works, which have been shown at the International Film Festival of Rotterdam, the Toronto International Film Festival, the British Film Institute in London, Film Festival, the Edinburgh Film Festival, at the Centre Pompidou in Paris, and Werkstatt der Kulturen in Berlin. His short E-Ticket was nominated for a Tiger Award, which is one of the prizes at the Rotterdam Film Festival, as well as a short film grand jury prize at Sundance. Signal 8, the film that will probably be showing on the Plaza, had its international premiere at the Rotterdam Film Festival in 2020. Any questions about Simon or his work?
No. Great.
Okay. Then that brings us to the work of Luis Arnias. The piece that we'll be showing is a very recent piece, and he hasn't provided me with extensive text yet, so I'm basing this on my own observations and waiting for a little bit more information from him. That's a 10-minute long piece called Terror Has No Shape. In Terror Has No Shape, nocturnal wanderings through an unknown city are laced with amorphous anxieties and intrusions of the uncanny. Is there a threat around the corner, or are we having fun? And Luis was born in 1982 and is a filmmaker from Venezuela who currently lives and works in Boston, Massachusetts. In 2009, he completed the diploma program at the School of the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, and in 2020, he received his master's in film video from Bard College. He is currently, and was formerly from 2014 to 2017, a fellow at the Film Studies Center at Harvard University. And we'll be showing a second work of his also during the event called Malembe. But that won't be in the exhibition.
Okay.
It seems to be a timely subject.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a little
just
alarming. You don't have to go to Hong Kong to get those types of images.
Right. Or Bangkok.
Yeah, or Bangkok, right.
No way of knowing when you were putting this together how timely it would be. It's
I was finalizing it over the summer and thinking about the terrain of protest or resistance and the urban landscape. But yeah, I definitely I wasn't imagining that reading like about the Bangkok uprising that it would be resonating so much.
Quite so much, right? Yeah. No, it's a really interesting set, I think.
And the projection will take place right in the neighborhood of potential protest also.
Possibly so.
I think, yeah.
I know the summer protests mostly moved away from that zone generally because people became aware, the organizers became aware that the jail was going on lockdown every time they had protests right down there. So they mostly moved those to City Hall, but definitely in the general vicinity and in a place where protests do happen for sure. And in a public urban space that like echoes some of those spaces, especially now because it's like it is much more empty, and a lot of the pieces work with that kind of like that emptiness, like an urban space when it is vacant, and the uncanniness of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I did have a question. So none no part of this takes place indoors, right?
No part of it takes place indoors. Yeah.
It's all either virtual or you have to go down there
Yeah.
to see the actual scheduled projections.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
And we do have like I guess a public service announcement like that we've put in between all the loops now, telling people that they should be wearing a mask and maintaining social distance and so forth.
Oh, good idea. Okay, that's great. Well, any discussion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, thank you. A second?
Thanks.
Who seconded it?
Emmanuel.
That was Emmanuel.
Oh, thank you. Okay, now any discussion? No? Okay, then we'll move to a vote. All in favor? Aye.
Raise your hand.
Yeah, hand raising.
Okay. We've got a majority. And Ellen, are you abstaining, Ellen?
Well, I haven't seen anything, and I don't see any attachments on any of my emails.
It's in the application.
It's right in the
If you go-
application.
If you go in the application, you'll be able to find them. So I'll show. I can pull them out for you if you like afterwards. But we have a sufficient number to approve it
Okay.
with Ellen abstaining.
Because I don't see the applications either.
Oh, okay. I will send it to you.
Yeah.
We better fix that.
I think we have a vote on the floor. Are we good?
Did you get a count?
Yes.
Okay, then it passed. I can't see everybody, so I can't count it.
Yeah, you just blanked out.
It's yeah.
So I think here, I'm gonna. So I think it passed. I mean, it did pass. We're all good. All in
Yes, so
favor.
it passed.
Yes, that's right. We already did that.
Thank you, Annika, for again putting something together that's of such high quality and relevance.
Thanks. I hope that some of you guys will be able to attend the screening with the artists. I think it'll be really good. I'm excited about it.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
I hope so too. Yep.
Will it be available on the website as far as promotion purposes?
Yeah, hopefully before the end of the week. I was kind of just waiting for tonight's meeting to make sure that everything was a go and the stuff's already drafted. And
Okay,
so
cool.
probably by tomorrow, but definitely by the end of the
Okay,
week.
deal. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye.
Thanks very much. Have a good night.
You too.
Nice, wonderful.
And you should be able to get your screen back.
Oh,
Let's
me?
see. Yeah, you.
I do have my screen back. I just can't see I can't see all of the participants.
Oh, we can't see you
My
for
screen.
some reason. Your video. Well, is your video off? No. Doesn't look like your video is off. It just looks. It's black.
Oh,
Anyway.
You can't see me.
Can't see you. But we can move back. I know that Jimmy just left the screen, but I know that he has to get out of here fairly shortly because he said he's triple booked. So I want to make sure I get him for the review of the minutes.
Okay.
And then I know
Okay.
that
Okay.
yeah, Tina has to go as well.
Okay, well we have 3 sets of minutes to approve, and it will be good to get them approved. The July 28th is first. Everybody received these, so should have read them by now. Where is that?
Now I found it.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I finally
Okay.
found the application. Yeah. Darn it.
Okay, so can we move? Let's have some motions, shall we, for the minutes?
Okay. Yeah, so the July 28th, 2020 WebEx video conference minutes. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jimmy. And a second?
I'll second.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. All in favor of accepting these minutes? Say aye. Put up a hand. My
Thank
hand
you.
went up. Okay. Did it pass?
It did.
Okay. That's a very good thing. Okay. The next set of minutes are the November 10th, 2020 WebEx video conference regular meeting minutes.
I'll move.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Jimmy again.
I'll second.
Thank you, Emmanuel.
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
Oh.
All right then. Discussion is. Oh, yes.
No, that was just up to say, yeah, but
Approves. Okay, all right, on we go.
Okay, discussion is closed. All in favor, say aye and raise your hand so Kate can count it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Michael John.
Oh boy. I'm not even seeing. This technology's annoying me.
All right.
Okay, that one's done, and now we've got last month's December 8th.
I'll move.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Emmanuel, you're going to go for the trifecta.
Sure. Okay, I'll second.
Great.
Okay. We have a motion, a second. Is there discussion? Okay, discussion is closed, as far as I can tell.
Yes.
Say your word if you have anything to say. Okay. Discussion is closed. All in favor of accepting these minutes from
Right.
December 8th, say aye and hold up your hand.
All right. Thank you.
Beautiful. So glad to have those done.
Yes.
It's an amazing problem lately. Okay. We have no old business. We've already taken care of our new business. So now we move into the discussion area and subcommittee reports. Marketing and Communication Committee.
Oh, Lauren, were you going to say anything, or I can let people? I have circled back with Ruthie because everything went a little dark on the website. But Lauren, I should, if you have anything, or Tina or Michael John, if any of the three of you have anything to say, I don't want to step in. Nothing? Okay.
We're good. We're just waiting on the Rutheny side to come back around for the website related talk.
So I can tell you, as Lauren reported at the last meeting, that she wanted to start with the social media and with the website to follow. And so I spoke to her, and one of the things is we discussed last time too, or Lauren mentioned, was that she wanted those people who are going to be involved in the social media to take a 1 hour media guidelines tutorial, like how to use the city's, what are the city's guidelines?
Yeah, I was able to unmute so I could Sorry. Yeah, it was just something that Ruthie wanted anybody doing social media to do prior to doing the social media, is to take this.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm looking for an hour on her schedule, and who among us would like to be part of that social media tutorial, or needs to be? No one necessarily wants to be, I get that, but who would like to join that? Okay, all right. Okay, so that's Ellen, and then the others. Okay, and Tina, are you going to do, or maybe you've done it already, Tina? Okay. So anyone who's going to be doing the social media is going to need the tutorial from Ruthie. And I will get an hour on her calendar as quickly as possible, and she wants to do that soon. So I'll organize that for us.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that, and then she said that she'd also, actually, we might be able to do this at the same time. She had just a quick check-in that she wanted to do on the website with the website people. And then the actual website design part, the more interesting and more involved part of the website redesign will be happening later this month or early in February. So let's see if, since everyone who's going to be on that tutorial with her are also the people who are going to be, she wants to touch base with, and I'll just make sure that we can do that all in one fell swoop.
Okay.
So we'll be able to, by next meeting we should have some new things to report, and maybe have our social media business up and going. So that's all I have. And I don't know if anyone else wants to add anything. It was a busy month between the 8th of December and now the 44th of December. It's been busy. So
Right.
We'll have more to report. There will be more. The subcommittee will have more to report by next meeting, I should think.
All right. Is that it on marketing and communications?
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. I've been super busy this last month, so I haven't been able to progress any with the logo or do any of the mock-ups that we talked about at the last meeting.
Okay.
So.
Okay, then we'll move on to other projects. The downtown mural program. Kate, you should probably report on that.
Okay, so we have been working with, so this is Ellen and Emmanuel and Dan and Tina and I have been working with Frank Malfitano. Actually, Frank is he's off and running, as Frank is wont to do, with this project of his, and he's and I'm sorry, I can't remember where we left it with the whole group, but he has narrowed it down to 2 murals. We've looked at some sites. I've started to make some contacts with those sites. I did get a provisional approval from the 333 building, which is on East Onondaga Street, and that property owner is excited to be able to, or actually it's a condo situation, but he sounded very excited to go and talk to his fellow condo owners about the project. And there are only 3 owners, and he said he didn't think it'd be any problem. So, and actually, just a little side note, I was very happy to see it's not actually a brick wall; it's a very smooth cinder block wall, so it makes it even better for mural application. Frank, for these murals, Frank wants to go out and find the artist rather than doing an RFP or RFQ and RFP, which is certainly one way of doing it. And he wants to do that for a number of different reasons, but mostly it seems to be timing as well as his sense of security in terms of the quality of the artwork and the type of artwork that he envisions.
Yes.
So, and we've had now 2 meetings with the mayor to talk about, the first meeting was, Mayor, are you on board with this project? And he said yes, and this most recent meeting was a discussion about fundraising and how to get to certain people. That Frank has many contacts, but felt that the mayor might be able to help, possibly with just providing some other contacts or links or just encouragement for people to pick up the phone should Frank call. So we'll so that's been, so as I say, it's been going full steam ahead. We had a really interesting meeting last Friday with a woman. Thank you very much, Ellen, for organizing. A woman, Julia Lopez from the Philadelphia Mural Arts Program. She actually runs is very involved with the education department of their mural arts. And really, I think that we were all floored by what Philadelphia is doing in their public schools and their mural arts. I mean, it wasn't entirely she wasn't able to answer all our questions. We were trying to get to the bottom of budgeting and some more technical details about muraling. And her expertise was more about the interaction with the community and with schools and how they're working together. But it really showed us where we could and perhaps should go with the larger community muraling program that would come after this. So I don't know if anybody else wants to add anything to that. And thanks again, Ellen, for pulling that together for us.
Oh, I think that it just showed us how extensive their education program is, and it might be something that would I'm sure it would be something if we did it that would go well with both of these murals, but it might also be something that could help us to bring in some funding by engaging the community in that way.
Yeah.
We're doing them in the school's out. I think it would be something that could be. We certainly should take encouraging that.
Anything else from anyone? I would just say that Frank is he's going full bore.
When's the last time you talked to Frank?
Yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I speak to him not quite daily, but maybe every other day. I've had
he likes to email too.
Oh, I was gonna say I have a couple of emails from him today as well. So but actually that does remind me, and it was something Jimmy and I spoke about, and Tina, we need to kind of circle back with you, Tina, as well, about setting up the account or the line item with TNT and coming up with that letter of agreement between, I don't know if it's between the Public Art Commission and TNT or if it's the city and TNT. It doesn't really matter. We just need to have some record of what it is that we're doing and who's responsible for doing what. And then the other thing that I discussed with Jimmy earlier today was that, and this is something Frank was asking about, is who does the artist contract with? And the further we can push it away from the city, the better. So that would be something that perhaps TNT might be able to contract with the artist, and we would need to come up with need to look at some sample contracts so that we understand what language we're talking about and what, again, whose responsibilities or whose. And
I don't understand that, because if Frank is picking the artist, it's his project. Why would TNT have a contract with the artist? I'm a little confused.
I think it would be the way that the artist gets, because TNT would be holding the funds, it would be the way that the artist would get paid.
Oh, so is Frank planning to use TNT as a fiscal agent? Or
yeah, that was the thought. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If that is agreeable to TNT, and if that would work, because if it doesn't for any reason, then we need to go and find a different fiscal agent for this.
No, I think when I had mentioned that to Frank before, he had said something about he had the Jazz Fest, or he had other sort of nonprofits to use, and so that's why I just didn't know where that was.
No, I mean, not that I'm aware of. And in what, again, in our interest in having this be a springboard to our own citywide program, I thought kind of this might help us sort of work through some of the kinks and understand how this relationship might work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Moving forward.
If that's what Frank is, if that's what he wants to do, things seem to change frequently. So,
hey, I think also we have in our records how we contracted with the artists on those other projects very early on that TNT sponsored, and I think it was with each of the sectors that sponsored them.
I'll have to, I'll have to go back and look at those, what records I have of that too. Yeah, it would seem surprising if they were contracting with the city, because although at the time TNT was still part of the city, so they must have. Well, I'll look through my records on this, because I must have it, right? Yeah. But that's a good idea. I'll go back and see what we have.
My only question. Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Do you have any other business that needs to be voted on? Because I have to jump to a 6 o'clock.
Nope.
No, I think you can go, Jimmy.
Everybody stay healthy.
You too.
Okay, thank you.
Turn off the TV.
Yes.
I know.
Sorry, Michael John, what were you were saying something?
I was just going to say, in the Frank case, he's heavily involved, but similar to like a food truck putting in a permit with the city, means that any food truck or any food cart can put a permit in with the city. So if Frank is privatizing the project and going out and finding the artist himself, it sets us a kind of a weird precedence in the fact that he's hand-picking the artist for the project as opposed to an RFP that allows anyone to submit. So I just want to throw that out there as kind of a weird.
That isn't setting a new precedent. That's exactly the way we've done all of them from the very start.
So like anyone can come with the proposal, but I mean like hand-picking the artist is up to the person who brings the proposal forward.
You can do whatever they want to do.
That way.
That's correct.
Yeah. The difference, I think the difference will be though when we are in control of the mural program and have some dollars ourselves, and especially when we start moving out into the neighborhoods, having an RFQ, RFP type and that intense. And that was the one thing that Julia was talking about a lot on last Friday, was how important it is to involve the community. And they have some great technical ways that they do that through, instead of painting directly onto walls. They're actually painting onto parachute cloth. And they do these projections and outlines. It's almost paint by numbers that people are able to contribute, participate in the mural, and then they go and put it up, much like you would do an old billboard, right? Up on the, and they're absolutely fantastic. These murals, obviously directed by artists. That was good. I like it.
I noticed there's some reactions, but I just wanted to say I have to leave. I have to get ready for my 6:30.
Or your next one, yeah.
Yeah, it's crime and safety on the east side. So for any of you east siders, hop on our meeting.
Hop on, right? Yeah, we'll do.
All right.
Thanks, Tina. We'll be in touch then, Tina.
All right, sounds good. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Tina. Okay.
Now there was 6.
And now there's 6. Yeah, but no longer a quorum because I don't count. So, anyway, so yeah, I think what I'm hoping is that this is our springboard to our own program, and it's hopefully will build excitement and all those wonderful things that will get people to say, well, what's next? And then we'll be able to say what's next. And I feel that that's in part what subcommittee should be working on too, is Frank is going to do his thing and help sort of pave the way. But then we should be ready for what is next when the community asks. All right. That's what I'm thinking. That's where my head is. So that unless anyone else has any questions or comments, that's all I have on murals, or unless one of the other committee members wants to say anything.
No, we have the Dome Day.
Oh, I know. No, that was just for murals. So Dome Day, you and Tina and Jimmy went and did the Dome Day. Yeah. How did that go?
It was fun. It was there was the whole month of doing the dome was a little bit of a roller coaster because of the weather. Like it was 70 the day before, and it was like snowing when we did it. But it was nice because in a short period of time, some folks showed up. A family walked by, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" And we're like, "Hello, little artists," and handed them the bags. And so Tina saved a bunch of the bags. We just took a certain amount there. And Jim from Poster Project and the folks from Chase Bank came out, and they were like, "Oh, we've got, little nieces and nephews." And I gave them bags, and, so it was nice. And for what it was worth, we're out there for a couple hours and did it. And, over the whole month, I was very pleased with how eclectic the, people who were in the tent was. But it was a Monday, it was orange zone, it was cold out, and we still gave a good 50 some odd bags away.
Oh, that's great.
So in the end, it was a pretty decent turnout for what it was. We had tried to coordinate with the kid at the downtown committee because he said he was going to drop off the stuff, but then there was some kind of confusion, and they ended up staying at Dan's or something like that. I don't know, but the flyers for
the brochures,
art
walkthroughs, the walking tour.
So we'll get those in the next ones, and as we move forward. But
do they even exist? Tina told me that they thought they had them, and then they found out they didn't have them.
Oh yeah, they promised them, but they didn't have a box of them or something. I don't know, but
you got the last ones, Dan.
Yeah.
The ones that they
had sent to you.
Ones.
Oh, okay. So if that's the case, they have to probably restock them or something,
I think I was told that they actually are in storage and that they just didn't know where they were.
Got it.
Nobody else did. There was one person who knew where they were. And wasn't involved in it. And so next time we can get them.
But it's noteworthy that we just went ahead and printed the tote bags with the logos on it. So TNT and our prospective new logo in Lauren's original format was printed onto those bags. So at least it's some sort of version of where we're headed with the logo. You know what I mean?
That's good.
And it was nice because people noticed that. And we bought all the supplies directly from the art store on Erie Boulevard, and they were good to us because it was kind of like short notice to be able to say, we got $1,000, can you like hook us up? And they did a good job of kind of twisting up our want list, wish list, and they gave us these like colorful markers that kind of like act as one part paint, one part marker, and they were like multi-use. So we just split them up by colors and threw them a couple in each bag, and with the nice sketchbooks. So people were pretty appreciative, because we were, 2 weeks before Christmas also. So there was like, obviously they're getting gifts too, which is cool. But
pardon me, but who printed the bags for you?
Avalon, I guess is what the connection was with TNT, and they already have a account with them. So it was easier to just like say, Avalon, can you do it? Okay. And honestly, I was pretty surprised by the price. They were cheap. They were like $1 something. And they were like red and big. They weren't. I expected this kind, and they were this kind. So they were big tote bags. So the bags alone were like worth it, So we got a couple hundred bags and enough markers to, put like 3-4 markers in each bag. So I think we'll take advantage of maybe that community outreach that Dan was mentioning earlier, the way that, maybe it's kind of like a cool incentive thing. Come help with the mural and get a bag and walk away with your own stuff and be inspired to draw a mural yourself, little ones. And like, like kind of put it in the schools and get it in front of the right kind of clientele,
Got a question for you. Some people noticed the logo. Did anybody give you any feedback on it?
Actually, people were quick to go, oh, I like that. And then that was it. Because it was just a short like interaction where we're like, here's a free thing, bye. And you know what I mean? And so the women at the bank were asking a lot of questions about it, because they were like, this is like, no one ever gives us anything type of thing, like meaning like they see all these things outside and they can't leave to go get them. So I walked in and said like, oh, I know for a fact, because I bank here, that you have like younger clientele. And I'm like, I know you have, you always talk about your needs. So I handed it to the girl behind the counter, and out comes the other ones looking for it. So we like gave a couple away, which was like,
oh, that's great. That's great.
But yeah, the quick version was, I like what I see here, because they could assume the inclusion with the different shapes and the half woman, half male bathroom symbol character in the center.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
But yeah, the dome was great, and actually something that happened because of the dome and all the other things, like when working with Jen Tift and Eric Ennis and all that on Weekends on Walton and Parklets and Dome.
You froze up, man.
You froze.
Oh, I'm back.
You're back.
Okay. I honestly feel like I'm an honorary member of the city government because of the number of conversations I had with city government officials last year. And but it put me in a unique position too, because this week is when all the internals begin to happen, talking about the future of parklets and street closures and all these other things. And my plan is to only use what we learned and try to hone some things down, but more importantly, bring Public Arts Commission into those conversations, because we're all kind of technically bordering that anyway. So,
but this actually is kind of a good segue into my other little report that I just wanted to let everybody know. that I've been in contact with. Her first name is Emily, and her last name is shoot. Oh, it's here somewhere. It's here somewhere in my head. Anyway, she's the executive director out at Stone Quarry Art Park. She's an ESF grad, I believe. Emily Zagel, I believe is her name. Yeah, and we have been talking about, we just started just before Christmas or the holidays. We were talking about starting up a loan program for them to loan the city sculptural works.
Yes,
And
that's
to
great.
place them into, and my initial thought was to place, and so it would be temporary, temporary might be 9 months or a year, who knows, or it depends on how difficult it is, the transport and everything. But my first thought was the Perseverance Park / Salina Plaza area to put in an accessible, interesting, large piece of sculpture. And I think that TNT and Tina and I were talking about it, that TNT may be able to help fund the transportation costs, as well as if there's some type of special installation that we need. We can't damage the concrete, as we know, Michael John. So,
no, you can't damage it anyways. It's brand new.
Cannot damage it. We can't damage it. So if there's some sort of a base or platform or something that needs to be built, so I think this just seems like such a no-brainer. If they're willing to, they have a long-established loan program, and if they're willing to do that, that would be wonderful. And the other idea that that we had been talking about was that Emily and I had talked about, and I mentioned this to Ellen at our last Friday, was that they do have artists in residence who are actually creating while they're there, and if we could give that artist an opportunity to create a work that would be designed to both be seen in that very rural setting as well as in this very urban setting, it would be just add some real interest and depth to an installation. I think it could be a lot of fun for an artist and a lot of fun for us as well. So so we don't have a lot of money, but we do have a lot of connections and people who are out there who, and organizations. That's right, we have no money. Organization, but there are people. But we know people who have money. We know people who have money, and we know people who have artwork and interesting programs who we may be able to collaborate with. And so more on that. And I would hope actually by the next meeting I'll be able to say, yes, we're doing it, and this is when we'll be starting. So, yeah.
Awesome.
All right, excellent.
That's it. That's all I have.
That's a great idea, and I'm glad it's finally getting done. We've been talking about it for a while, but it looks like it's really going to flow with this new director there.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
I want to ask about 81, if you know anything more.
I don't know anything more. I've been actually.
Have there been any meetings that you have gone to lately with 81?
None. And where I left it with you all the last time was that Greg Lowe from the mayor's office was going to be setting up some of these internal working groups, and he has not done so. So I don't have anything to report on 81. I think that just speaking on a national level, we're in a much better situation, that 81 actually may come down, like we may get the funding now to.
No, not may.
Buttigieg
says out loud the number one thing that he's going to do is dismantle.
Dismantle. So
all
it was
major.
Maybe I thought this was a done deal.
Yeah. Like, with Buttigieg coming into place, it's his number one priority accordingly. So,
Ellen, it was always going to be whether or not we could get the dollars to do it from the federal
but doesn't it have to come down anyway because it's falling down?
Well, there is the other unwritten.
And we had a choice of three things to do. The cheapest way which
Right.
is to rebuild it. And
Right.
well, the most expensive way to put it underground.
No, it costs about the same regardless. It's just it's all about the money. Can the feds help us pay for it?
But what my understanding, though, there was the one other unspoken alternative, which was to continue to band-aid it out into the future. So
realize that.
Yeah. So that would have been one of the worst results too. I mean, that would just have been awful. So I think now that we have a road scholar working on the roads, so this should be heating up. And I'm sorry I don't have anything else to tell you at this point, but I will write. I'm gonna get back with Greg and say when.
All this is new news to me. I thought that the money was there, and maybe not enough money to do the more expensive thing. But I always thought that the money was there, and that's why millions of dollars was spent to do the research. That's what I understood, that this was a done deal, 3 choices, and not a Band-Aid choice, because they've been doing that for years.
Right.
So this
no, they did an economic. They did the economic impact and then they did the ecological impact, and nobody would say anything until the ecological impact came back, because politically they couldn't. No one's got a crystal ball and can say what's happening 20 years from now. But nobody would sign on for any of them because of the ecological report, because that was the most important longevity of the project. So it's still very much up in the air. It's delayed as far as the choice that's being made, but there is only 2 schools accordingly, right, Kate? There's only...
Yeah, I mean, I think the DOT is actually, ready to announce it has already basically telegraphed that its preferred alternative is the community grid.
The grid, yeah.
But we were, I think that there was a lot of question about whether or not where the funding would come from. Period. I mean, yes, there's the state funding, but then there's and of course now with COVID and I don't know where all these monies come from, but the federal portion was always a little bit in question. At least that was my understanding. So now we're in a much better situation, and I'm sure that project's going to be heating up fast. And so we need to get our feet back in, stick our foot back in like a wedge into that door to be talking to people. So I'll see what I can find out for you. Yeah.
This is frustrating.
Yes, sure is. But here's the thing: the world is changing their mind about this everywhere. You should see the projects going on around the world right now that are similar to this. There's like a huge shift in that kind of thinking and like going back to like green infrastructure and stuff. You should see the project in Paris. I don't know if anyone's had a chance. Type in Champs-Élysées and watch the videos. They're unreal. They made a promise that as soon as the Olympics are over, they're putting an absurd amount of money into taking the whole corridor of the Champs-Élysées and turning it into a pedestrian-friendly, like tons of trees, like an outdoor walkable park, basically in the center of Paris. So there's a lot of interesting things like that happening, and I think the turn towards that is not a trend, and it's going to force some cards. So all those people that are kind of hanging on to that have Save 81 signs outside their businesses are going to be, in a different boat soon. I'm almost positive. So, but anywho,
okay. Anything else, Dan? I have
motion to adjourn would be good.
Motion.
Okay, so you'll all be hearing from me one way or the other.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, bye, Emmanuel. Bye, Ellen.
Bye-bye.
Ta-ta, Lauren.
Bye.